What do you do when everything around you is falling apart, but you still have to keep standing? And the news is heavy, your mind is loud, and the weight on your shoulders just won't let up. You try to hold it together, but deep down, you're shaking. You're overwhelmed. You're asking yourself, how do I stay strong when everything feels out of control? This isn't just a rough patch, it's chaos. And it's in moments like these that the world doesn't need more noise. It needs unshakable people. Welcome to How to Remain Unshakable During Chaos. This video isn't about ignoring the storm or pretending everything's okay. It's about finding your strength in the middle of it. It's about building a mindset so strong, a foundation so firm that even when the winds blow, you don't break. You bend, you breathe, you stand taller. Because let's face it, life won't always be calm, but you can be. And no, it doesn't require perfection. It requires presence. It requires courage. It requires choosing to respond instead of react. In this video, we're going to walk through 6 powerful principles that will help you remain centered, focused, and strong even when life is anything but peaceful. You're tired of being shaken by everything around you. This message is your reminder. The chaos may be loud, but your inner calm can be louder. Let's begin the journey from surviving the storm to becoming the calm inside it. Embrace the chaos, don't resist it, rise within it. Let's get one thing straight. Chaos is not a sign that you're losing. It's a sign that you're living. Life will never be perfectly quiet, neatly planned, or free from disruption. There will be storms. There will be uncertainty. There will be moments when the ground beneath you seems to crack wide open and everything familiar starts slipping through your fingers. And when that happens, your first instinct will be to resist, to fight the chaos, to scream, to panic, to run, to shut down. But resistance isn't strength. Real strength is acceptance. Real strength says, this storm is here. I see it, I feel it, but it will not drown me. I will rise within it. The people who become unshakable aren't the ones who never experience chaos. They're the ones who stop waiting for it to go away. They stop saying, I'll find peace when things calm down. Instead, they say, I will bring peace into the chaos. That's the shift. That's the mindset that transforms victims into victors. Think of a mountain. No matter how violent the storm is, the mountain stands firm. It doesn't avoid the wind or the lightning or the thunder. It doesn't panic when clouds roll in. It simply stays grounded, rooted, immovable. That's what you must become, a mountain in the midst of madness. You don't become unshakable by escaping hard times. You become unshakable by facing them head on and choosing who you will be in the middle of them. This is where you must remind yourself, I can't control the storm, but I can control my response. I can't predict the future, but I can prepare my mind. I can't stop the chaos, but I can build calm inside of me. It's okay to feel shaken. It's okay to feel fear, but don't live there. Don't let chaos define you. Let it refine you. Let it strengthen you. Let it peel back the distraction and force you to focus on what truly matters. Because that's the hidden gift of chaos. It exposes what's real. It shows you what's solid and what was only surface. It teaches you what you're really made of. Or about that. So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this revealing in me? Ask, how can I grow through this instead of just get through this? You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed. And you are powerful when you decide that the chaos around you will never dictate the strength within you. This is how you remain unshakable. Not by avoiding the storm, but by standing tall inside of it and saying, I am still here and I will not fall. Control what you can. Let go of what you can't. When chaos surrounds you, it's easy to feel powerless. Everything seems out of control. The news, your finances, your relationships, even your own emotions. And that's when overwhelm sets in. That's when fear takes over. But here's the truth that can shift your entire mindset. You don't have to control everything. Just control what you can. It sounds simple, but it's life-changing. Because the moment you shift your energy from obsessing over what's beyond your reach to focusing on what's within your power, you reclaim your strength. Let's get practical. You can't control what other people say or do. You can't control the weather. You can't control global events or someone else's reaction. But you can control how you show up. You can control. Mind what thoughts you entertain, what words you speak, with what actions you take, what energy you allow into your space. You can control your breathing when anxiety creeps in. You can control how much time you spend on social media, absorbing negativity. You can control whether you spiral into fear or refocus on your goals. This is how unshakable people operate. They don't waste energy on things they can't change. They conserve their strength for the things they can influence. They narrow their focus, not because they're ignoring the world, but because they're protecting their peace. Chaos is like a storm. And in a storm, your job isn't to stop the wind. It's to find shelter, to hold your ground, to stay centered. Your control is your shelter. And here's the irony. When you let go of needing to control everything, you actually feel more in control. Because now your energy isn't scattered, it's targeted, it's intentional, it's powerful. Try this when you feel overwhelmed. Stop and ask yourself, what's one thing I can control right now? Can you drink water? Move your body. Call someone you trust. Turn off the noise. Take one step toward your goal. That's your power, that's your anchor. And the more you exercise this mindset, the more unshakable you become. Because no matter how loud the chaos gets, you remain grounded in what's yours. Your mind, your habits, your heart. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting the process, releasing what isn't yours to carry, and rising with what you still hold. So the next time life feels like it's spinning out of control, don't try to grab every wheel. Just hold yours firmly, set your breath, speak life into your day, move with purpose, not panic. Because when you focus on what you can control, you remind yourself that you are never truly powerless. That's how you become unshakable, by standing firm in your space, no matter how unstable the world becomes. Anchor yourself in purpose, not panic. In moments of chaos, most people default to panic. They start spiraling mentally, emotionally, physically, because they've lost touch with something essential, purpose. Panic is what happens when you don't know where you're headed or why you're fighting. But purpose? Purpose grounds you, purpose clears your vision, purpose gives you the strength to keep walking when everything else is screaming at you to quit. You see, when chaos hits, when life falls apart, when plans break, when nothing goes as expected, it's easy to forget who you are. It's easy to forget what you've been working for. Your focus gets clouded by survival mode. You go from being intentional to being reactive. But that's when you must pause, breathe, and reconnect to your why. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? What am I really building? Who am I becoming in this moment of pressure? Because if your mind is focused only on the chaos, you'll drown in it. But if your heart is anchored in purpose, you'll rise above it. That's the truth of every great leader, every warrior, every survivor. They didn't avoid hardship. They were just so deeply connected to their purpose that nothing could shake it loose. Think of it like a ship in the middle of a storm. The waves crash, the wind howls, and the boat rocks violently. But if it has an anchor, it won't drift away. That anchor is your purpose, and in your life, that anchor might be your faith. It might be your family. It might be the legacy you want to leave. It might be the vision you have for a life of freedom, peace, and impact. Whatever it is, get clear on it. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Carry it with you every day. Because when you live with purpose, you don't just survive the chaos. You grow through it. Purpose gives your pain meaning. It gives your setbacks context. It gives your struggle direction. When others are paralyzed by fear, your purpose reminds you, I'm still moving. When others let the chaos consume them, your purpose tells you, I'm still creating. When everything else shakes, your purpose whispers, you were built for this. So stop chasing comfort. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Let your why burn brighter than your what if. Panic may knock on the door, but purpose keeps it from stepping in. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need a map. You just need a reason to rise, a reason to keep going. And if you're still breathing, still standing, even in a storm, then your purpose is still alive. Hold on to it, let it anchor you. Because when the world shakes, purpose is what keeps you unshakable. Seek strength, not fear. When chaos erupts around you, your first line of defense is not your money, your muscles, or even your strategy, it's your mouth. The words you speak in the midst of pressure have power. They either calm the storm inside of you or fuel it. Your words shape your perspective, and your perspective shapes your reality. Let me tell you something. The moment you start speaking defeat gets stronger. The moment you start saying, I can't handle this, or everything is falling apart, your mind believes you. And when your mind believes you're powerless, your body follows. But the opposite is also true. Speak strength and your mind listens. Speak faith, and your courage rises. Speak truth and you start to realign with who you really are, not who fear says you are. Your voice is not just for communication, it's for creation. You are always building something with your words, doubt or discipline, fear or faith, weakness or resilience. So ask yourself, what am I building when I speak? Is what do I declare over myself when things go wrong? This isn't about fake positivity. It's not about ignoring the storm. It's about how you face it. You can acknowledge pain while still declaring power. You can admit it's hard while still saying, I will overcome. Because being unshakable doesn't mean being silent. It means speaking words that stabilize you when the world around you feels unstable. Start changing your inner dialogue. When you wake up and feel anxious, say, I was made for this. I bend, but I do not break. Today, I choose strength over fear. Say it out loud. Say it when you don't feel it, especially when you don't feel it. Because the act of speaking strength out loud rewires your thoughts and retrains your emotions. And eventually, it redefines your identity. Your environment might be chaotic, your schedule might be overloaded, your emotions might be high. But if you take control of your words, you take control of your focus. Words are not just reactions, they are weapons. They are shields. They are anchors. They are reminders. And they will either keep you rooted or cause you to crumble. So let your voice be your victory. Let it speak life. Let it speak truth. Let it speak calm into chaos. You may not be able to control what happens around you, but you can always control what comes out of you. That's what unshakable people do. They don't let fear narrate their story. They write their own lines. They choose words that lift, not break, that fuel, not drain. So starting today, speak like someone who knows they'll rise. Speak like someone who's already survived worse. Speak like someone who is not shaken by chaos, shaped by it into someone unbreakable. Stay grounded in daily discipline. When life spins out of control, discipline becomes your anchor. Not motivation, but inspiration. Discipline. You see, motivation fades. It comes and goes like a wave. But discipline is the structure that holds you together when everything else is falling apart. It's the quiet commitment to keep showing up. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. If you want to remain unshakable during chaos, you need more than good intentions. You need habits that keep you rooted. Daily routines may seem small, even boring, but they are powerful. They train your mind to focus when the world demands panic. They remind you that you are still in control of something, even when everything else feels uncertain. And here's what most people miss. Discipline isn't about rigidity. It's about stability. It's not about living a perfect life. It's about creating a system that holds you up when your emotions try to tear you down. Start small, start simple, but start with intention. Make your bed every morning, not because it's about a bed, but because it's the first promise you keep to yourself. Drink your water, move your body, set a time to reflect. Journal, pray, meditate. Plan your day before it begins. Turn off the noise that doesn't serve your peace. These are not just tasks, they are declarations of self-leadership. When chaos surrounds you, The discipline of routine whispers, I've got you. Because every time you show up for yourself, whether it's 5 push-ups or 5 minutes of silence, you prove that you are not a victim of your environment. You are a leader of your life. And here's the beautiful part. The more you stick to your routines in chaos, the stronger your confidence grows. Why? Because discipline builds trust. You stop doubting your ability to stay calm. You stop questioning whether you fold under pressure. You begin to believe, no matter what happens, I can handle it, because I've trained for this. Think of daily discipline like training for battle. You don't wait for the war to start learning how to fight. You prepare in the quiet. You build in the stillness. So when the storm arrives, you are ready, not reactive. Even if everything feels unstable, your habits can be your solid ground. Even when emotions rage, your routine can bring you back to center. So today, commit to something small, something doable, and keep doing it, especially when you don't feel like it. Because that's where unshakable strength is born. Not in the easy days, but in the chaos, in the choice to stay grounded when everything else wants to pull you apart. Discipline isn't a burden, it's your lifeline. It's how you stand tall. It's how you remain unshakable. Choose faith over fear every single day. In the face of chaos, you are always standing at a crossroads. Faith or fear. 2 paths, 2 mindsets, 2 very different outcomes. Fear looks at the storm and says, what if I fail? Faith looks at the same storm and says, even if I fall, I will rise again. To remain unshakable, you must make a conscious daily decision. I will not live in fear, I will walk in faith. That doesn't mean the fear disappears. It doesn't mean the storm stops. But it does mean you're no longer surrendering your power to uncertainty. You're no longer letting fear control your choices, your mood, or your mind. Faith is not a passive thing. It is not blind optimism or ignoring reality. Faith is a mindset. Faith is a decision. Faith is a muscle, and it grows when you use it. Faith says, I may not see the full path, but I'll take the next step anyway. It says, even if I don't feel strong right now, I still move forward with purpose. Fear will try to freeze you. It will tell you to wait, to retreat, to play it safe. But faith whispers, keep going. There's something on the other side of this. In chaotic times, fear loves to shout. It wants to dominate your thoughts. It shows up as anxiety, doubt, hesitation, and insecurity. But faith is quieter, steady, constant, unwavering. It shows up as peace, courage, and clarity in the middle of the storm. So how do you build faith in chaos? You build it by focusing on what's possible, not just what's painful. You build it by feeding your spirit, reading, praying, meditating, surrounding yourself with voices that lift you. You build it by speaking belief over yourself every single day. You build it by remembering what you've already overcome. Look back for a moment. You've been through chaos before. You've faced seasons of heartbreak, disappointment, confusion, and you're still here. You didn't come this far to let fear win now. Faith is remembering that your story is not over. That chaos is not your ending. It's just a chapter. It's trusting that even when life feels out of control, you are still guided, still chosen, still capable. And let's be honest, choosing faith over fear is not a one-time event. It's a decision you make every morning. It's the inner voice you choose to amplify. It's the light you decide to carry even in the darkest moments. So ask yourself, today, in this moment, will I walk in fear or will I walk in faith? It's the ones who remain unshakable are not the ones who never face fear. They are the ones who feel it, face it, and choose faith anyway. Let the world shake. Let the noise rise. Let the pressure build. You walk forward anyway. Because faith is not just what you believe, it's how you move. And with faith, you will not fall. You will rise stronger, wiser, unshakable. So here we are at the end of this message, but perhaps the beginning of your transformation. You've just walked through 6 powerful principles that don't just sound good, they work. Not in perfect moments, but in the real, raw, chaotic seasons of life. Because that's where it matters most. It's not hard to be calm. when things are easy. But to be calm when your world is spinning, to be grounded when everything's uncertain, they stay focused when the pressure rises. That is strength, that is power, that is what it means to be unshakable. Let's remember what you now carry with you. You've learned that chaos is not your enemy, it's your training ground. That you don't need to control everything, just control what you can. That purpose is stronger than panic. That your words are not just responses, they are tools of resilience. That daily discipline is your structure when the world feels unstable. And above all, that faith is greater than fear. When you choose it daily, you are no longer the same person who pressed play on this video. You now hold tools that can carry you through the darkest nights and the loudest storms. But tools mean nothing if you don't use them. So take action. Don't just hear. Apply. Don't just feel inspired. Be transformed. Every day, the world will try to shake you. It will send distractions, doubts, and detours. But you've already decided who you are. You've already anchored your soul in something deeper than circumstance. You are no longer led by chaos. You are led by clarity, by strength, by conviction. When life gets noisy, return to your center. When fear creeps in, speak strength. Basically, when you feel off balance, ground yourself in purpose. Because being unshakable doesn't mean you never fall. It means you always rise. And here's one last truth I want you to remember. You may not control the storm, but you are the storm, yeah? When you walk in truth, in faith, in peace, and in power. So don't let the world shake you. Let it watch you stand taller. Let it witness your rise. Let it feel the energy of someone who knows. I was built for this. I will not fold. I will not flee. I will not fear. I will rise and I will remain unshakable. This is your moment. Yeah, this is your mindset. And this is your new identity. Now go live it and stand firm. Walk boldly. Lead powerfully. Let the chaos come. You're ready. You unshakable.